Welcome into another episode of Foreigner Loves Filipina. I'm Darryl.
I'm Melanie, and we are an age-gap married couple, started as an LDR.
And in this episode, we're going to share how we got engaged right before COVID, and that due to the dark days of COVID, we weren't able to see each other for almost 2 full years, and it almost ended our relationship.
Please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Like, comment down below. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome in to another episode of Foreigner Loves
Filipina!
We all know what happened in March of 2020. The world shut down. So now here we were engaged, and we're not able to see each other for another 2 years. So because of COVID, I couldn't fly to the Philippines. She couldn't fly to America. We ended up with some lengthy delays on our visa processing because of COVID. But luckily, through that whole period, we kept video chatting every single day, unless there was a power outage or something like that. We were really good about communicating every single day.
Yeah, but it was really hard, really hard. Yeah, I almost give up in our relationship.
I don't think I realized how much she was struggling. Obviously, 2 years is going to be hard on anybody, but it's not like we never had any fights. We never broke up. There was never anything like that. It was just getting long and hard to go.
That's
so
what she
far.
said.
And I think one of the one time I did see her cry, and I knew she was really having a hard time, is when we were trying to figure out a country we could both go to, that maybe we could see each other. Is we had heard Thailand had opened up, and I had heard that there were resorts in Thailand that you could fly to, you could go to, and you couldn't leave the resort, but you could stay there for 14 days. And then after 14 days, you could go out. And I was like, well, that's fine. We can go to the resort, spend 14 days, and at least we can be together, and we can have dinner, and we can go to the pool,
Yeah, because
and go to the beach.
that's all that we wanted, you know, just to be together and see each other again.
Yeah. So as I was researching that further, and I was messaging with someone at one of the approved hotels, well, I find out that it's not that you can be together for 14 days, it's that you got to be in separate rooms for 14 days. And I was like, well, there ain't no way we're doing that. Yeah. So that all fell apart, and I had to call her and tell her that, listen, this isn't going to work.
And I think that's the time that I was really so down, that I was really not sure anymore if we're going to be together again. And that's the time also that I feel like I'm gonna give up in our relationship, but no, I didn't even, think of really giving up on us. I mean, we still continued. Hard. I mean, it's just hard. It's really hard, but yeah.
Well, then we ended up, she actually found out from, I think, another vlogger that was in a similar situation, that Maldives was opening up. And I'd never even heard of Maldives, and I didn't know it was such a hot spot that everybody wants to go travel to. I didn't ever even heard of it.
I've never ever heard Maldives either until I've been watching this YouTube vloggers that they've been going there in Maldives just to meet their foreigner, and then so that's give me idea that maybe we're gonna try this one, So
So that's what we did. So we flew to Maldives. We were able to see each other. We spent 3 weeks in Maldives.
3 weeks, yeah.
And Maldives is a really awesome place to visit. It's really one of the most unusual places, because you fly into the capital, and you literally walk out of the airport, and there's a boat dock, and then you get on a boat, and then they take you to whatever island you're going to. So it's like you literally get off the plane, and there's I've never seen an airport with a dock right next to it like that. And
that's a really beautiful place.
Let's talk about when we were in Maldives airport, and that was the funny part.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up on our video we did earlier, and I was like, I better not bring that in. So we hadn't been able to see each other 2 years. We finally are able to meet each other. We're both flying to Maldives. Now, obviously, it's a really long flight for me, not as long for her, but still probably 6-8 hours.
I think 6 hours or something like that.
So we're so excited that finally, after 2 years of COVID, we're being able to meet each other. And my plane got there a little bit earlier than hers. So I was there before you go through customs, waiting for her to show up, and I knew her plane would be coming shortly. So I was kind of over on the side, getting my bags all situated and everything. And I see people starting to file in from her flight. And then I see Melody, and I'm envisioning, oh, we're gonna go running to each other, and we're gonna give each other a huge hug and kiss, and
No, because
and then she just sees me and waves and keeps on walking and just leaves me standing
no,
there.
baby, because I thought you're already like done with the security and everything, and then I just want to be like be done too. That's why I just
Well, I don't know how you thought I was through security, because I had security was in front of us, but I was like, what in the world? I was like,
But I already saw him like they're sitting, and I thought it's just like waiting for I don't know, but yeah, that was like the funny part.
yeah, it was a little.
I feel embarrassed about that, but yeah.
I was like, boy, I thought she's gonna be excited to see me. I guess not so much.
Excited to see you,
She's
of
more excited to
course.
get to the Maldives than she is to see me.
The trip to Maldives was really new hope breathed into our relationship. We had gone 2 years without seeing each other, and faith and hope was becoming very, very thin. We were kind of at our darkest moments after the Thailand trip. It didn't work out, wondering whether or not we would ever see each other again, and wondering whether or not our visa for her to come to America would ever be approved. So being able to go to Maldives and reconnect was not only fun, but it was vital to our relationship continuing strong. When we flew into Maldives, we stayed there a total of 3 weeks. We stayed at 3 different islands that I'll kind of walk you through. In Maldives, you have 2 different types of islands. Of course, Maldives is known for the large resorts that are all-inclusive, and that's where a hotel or a resort will own the entire island. All the islands in Maldives are very, very small. I mean, you can just walk around them in a very short period of time. So you have those type of islands, and then you have the private islands, which is where the local people live. So we kind of wanted to do a combination of both. So we did stay in the first island we stayed at was owned by Sheridan. It was Fushi Island. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but I think it was called Fushi Island. I was able to use my Marriott points that I had accrued over many years of traveling in the U.S. to be able to stay there. They had the over-the-water bungalows that Maldives is so famous for, and I thought, well, if we're going to go, we might as well do it right and get one of those bungalows. I really thought it was going to be no big deal. It's like, what is the difference between having a hotel that's right on the beach versus a bungalow on the water? It's not much different. But I will say it really was pretty cool. It really surprised me. There's something about laying in your bed and seeing nothing but ocean. So we very much enjoyed the time there. But honestly, we didn't do a whole lot there other than we did some beach time, obviously eating at the restaurant. And as you can imagine, after not seeing each other for 2 years, we spent a lot of time reconnecting, if you know what I mean. And that's a lot of what the first 3 days was meals, beach, and boom boom time. But after we left the Sheridan, we went to a public island called Mafuchi Island. So this is, again, a tiny little island. All the islands in the Maldives are very small. They're really sand dunes is all they are. The highest point in all the Maldives is 6 feet above the ocean. So that was really quite interesting. There was you could walk around the entire island in about 45 minutes. In fact, it kind of became something I started doing every morning. Like a lot of countries, right in the middle of the island was a soccer field, and that seemed to be the main social event for the people of the island was playing soccer. And because other than catering to tourists, I'm not sure what else there really was to do in the island, because it really was quite small. On Mafuchi Island is where we did most of our water sports. One thing that is great, and what I'd really recommend if you ever want to go to Maldives, is doing it the way we did, where we did some of the high-end resorts and some of the local islands. I think is really the way to do it. We very much enjoyed the local island more than the high-end resorts, but that's just Melanie and I. I mean, the resorts were certainly fancier, they were certainly nicer, but we like being able to interact with the locals and kind of get a feel for the local culture and the local people. So we enjoyed that a lot more, but it was nice to do a mix. Obviously, it's always nice to do a little bit of pampering. Local island is a lot cheaper to do all the water sports. So that's where we did everything. We did scuba diving, which neither of us had been scuba diving before. I'm not sure either of us would do it again. I don't think either of us fell in love with it. Most of us felt a bit claustrophobic. And then we did parasailing, which is something I didn't think I would want to do because the older I get, the more afraid of heights I am. But I will say, parasailing was awesome. It really was so peaceful, so relaxing. You got a beautiful view of the island and the surrounding islands, and so we really enjoyed that. We went jet skiing, and Melanie didn't like how fast I drove. And then we did the tubing where the jet ski, pulled us behind and whipped us around. And that was a blast. And it was just the two of us on the tube. We almost came off that tube several times. That was a lot of fun. Maybe the most fun thing we did the whole time was swimming with a shark. So they take you out to a dive site where they are feeding the sharks. I believe they were clown sharks, if I remember. They're not really aggressive to humans. They dump you in there right near where they're feeding, and it is absolutely insane how many sharks there are. They're literally bumping into you, and there's other fish, and it was so fun and exhilarating, and it wasn't nearly as scary as I thought it would be. I thought it would be. We've all been raised on Jaws and been kind of taught to fear sharks. And certainly if they were great whites, I probably would have felt different. But so then after we got off Mafushi, Bandos Resort, and that was on the North Mall Atoll. But Bandos was a nice resort. It was certainly the most expensive of the three places we stayed. Honestly, I would say it was the place we enjoyed the least of the three. And while we were there, it was Melanie's birthday, so I was trying to plan something special for her birthday. The resort offered a sunset dinner right out on the beach, and they put up a little canopy, they dug a little heart in the sand. You had your dinner right there as the sun was setting. And so I did that for her birthday. It was awesome. I mean, it was worth it. I will say that was probably the most expensive dinner of my entire life. It was not cheap, but I knew we were only going to be there once. I knew it was her birthday. We hadn't seen each other in 2 years. And I could be pretty stingy sometimes, at least when I'm back home. But when I'm on vacation, I really try not to worry too much about the nickels and dimes, because that's what you work for, is to be able to enjoy those times. So it really was beautiful. So then the other thing that happened right at the end was we got a great piece of news, and that was we had an interview date for her to go to the embassy for our K-1 90-day fiance visa. And we had been waiting for that for, well, at that point, about almost 2.5 years, because it had been delayed significantly because of COVID. Life throws us all storms, and COVID was definitely a storm for us. It was definitely a test. It was a time that maybe we almost didn't even make it through, because as Melanie mentioned earlier in the video, really started to lose hope, really started to wonder whether or not we would ever see each other again, whether we would ever get approval. It's just an example of that if you just keep moving forward, eventually the storm passes, and eventually there is hope. Eventually you start to see the crack in the clouds, the sun rays coming through, and before you know it, it's a beautiful day and the sun shines fully on your face. And so if you're going through a trial, I would just encourage you to keep moving forward. Don't lose faith, don't lose hope, because the sun will shine on your face again.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about your visa visit and what you did to prepare for, and then what it was like when you actually went in for the visit.
Oh yeah, so that was 2021.
Right.
Okay, yeah, December 2021. That we received an email that I have already an interview for our fiance visa, and so that time I still need to go back to Biliran. But before I went back to Biliran, I was quarantined first in Cebu for like 14 days. And so I decided that maybe I'm just gonna go back in Manila, because if I'm going back in Biliran, I'll be quarantined for 7 days again. So that's really like sucking. But yeah, so I decided to flew back to Manila and then stay with my sister, and that's how I got all my medical did my interview there, and yeah, it was really a lot of paperwork. You know, I brought and all the
She had a
pictures.
stack of paper, probably
Yeah, like
that thick.
I think like it's a clear book, and then there's two clear book that all of them are just all our pictures, and then the other clear book is like all our, you know, like important documents. I don't want to deal with it anymore because I just want to be with Darryl that time, and I just want to be here in America to be with him. So yeah.
So we made it through that, and then she flew to America in March of 2022.
2022.
And we'll share in the next video more about kind of the 90-day fiance process that we went through. After 2. Welcome into another episode. Oh, let me start because you were moving.
Effort
You ready? Effort 2.
for 3.
Effort 3. Okay, effort 3. But if I try enough time.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we on? Nut 5?
Effort Mesa.
We were close.
Okay.
Yeah, effort
5.
is it 5 or 6?
Please subscribe so you don't miss.
Welcome into another episode. All right, don't be moving all over. Effort 6. Okay. Effort 7.
La 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 la.
Engaged 2. Why do I keep saying engaged 2 years? You're engaged. Okay. All right. Effort 8.
La la la
It
la.
shouldn't be that hard. I
Wanna do it again?
think we did it. Yeah, we'll do it again, but I think that one will probably work.
Okay.
But let's do at least 3 good ones.
La 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 la.
Okay. What is this? 9? Effort 9.
It's recording.
Effort 10, I believe, I think.
And so,
I mean, okay. Effort 11.
effort 11.
As we continue to, I got that all messed up. Okay, that's pretty good. Effort 12.
One more.
So effort 13.
It's a lot of
A
effort.
lot of efforts.
Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Like, comment down below. Thank you.
Thank
Feel
you.
like I'm doing my hands like that, baby.
Hey,
Just do it again. No, I'm doing my hands
okay,
like
well,
that.
everything was so perfect. That was our best by far.
Promise.
We were right at the end.
One more.
Effort 14, that was the best we've done. All right, effort 14.